Oh, I forgot there's a lag. Damn
Yeah,
it.
you missed the lag. You messed it up.
What just happened?
Dean, we have found the greatest Facebook group outside of Collecting Weekly Auxiliary.
Oh man, that's so fun.
It's the Pretend to Be an Ant Facebook group. There's like 190,000 people in it. All you do all day is just ant things.
Yeah. Like, hey, I need help lifting this rock. Lift. I need help. I found some honey. Sip. Our
It's
queen's in
fantastic.
danger. Attack. Protect.
Bro, that group is fuego.
It's very fun.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Manny.
And I'm Chris.
There was
Welcome to
no
this week's-
explanation, I
Yeah.
will say.
Chris is a longtime fan. He knows the routine. Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
Yeah.
Dean, we have some big upgrades to this week. You got a new mic. I got a new mic. Victoria gave me my birthday present early.
Yeah, I might just pay you for this.
Do you like it that much?
I mean, I'm gonna order one anyway, so I already have it. I might as well just give you the $30.
That is true. That is very true. We have some people in the live stream already. And big shout out to our sponsor, Watto's Scrapyard, for sponsoring this episode. What a guy. What a guy. Keeping the doors open, keeping the people of the world entertained. Big shout out to Watto's Scrapyard. Dean, let's get into the world's most popular podcasting segment ever.
Yeah. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
New.
This week.
Nailed it.
Sweet.
Dude, that might have been our best one yet.
If you say so, it sounded like
It sounded like absolute ass.
Garbage.
yeah. Maybe from now on,
Hot
I'll
garbage.
do it, and everybody just joins.
Yeah, we might need Manny's audio mixing masterpiece, and we'll just substitute it in anytime we say that because that was awful.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a delay there.
Yeah. So what'd you get new this week? I had a pretty slow week. Two of my things finally shipped out of Japan, so they should be here next week, hopefully. But I did pick up these two locally from our good friends, Rainer. It's the Black Series Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, and the Mimbin Stormtrooper, which is pretty good. I haven't gotten a chance to open it.
Membin? Is that how you pronounce it? Membin?
Mimbin, isn't it? Mimbon? I don't know.
I thought it was Mimba.
Mimbian.
Sounds
No,
good
there's
to
no
me.
other I. That's just the first I. It's not Ian. Mimbian. So it's just Mimbin. Anyway, I just love the look of that trooper, and I believe it was a Walmart exclusive.
Dude, I remember at one
And
point
they're
my
really
Walmart
hard.
had like 40 of those.
Really,
Mhm.
I never
Yeah.
even saw them in the wild.
Yeah.
And he goes for like anywhere from like 40 to like $60.
Fuck, dude, I should have bought all
Wow.
40. Rich.
Yeah, I got Rainer gave me a good deal on this one, and this one I think I paid less than retail, so super
Nice.
excited. But yeah, and then also he got me one of those giant Boba Fett pops that popped up in the Targets this week. I just have to pick that up from him, but that's it. That's all I got this week.
You also got a new mic.
Oh, and the new mic, yeah, yeah.
Dude, you look like a professional streamer.
Oh yeah, dude. Once I get it properly set up and it's not casting this weird shadow in my face, I'll be good.
Dude, Dean, you should do ASMR on our OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Manny, what'd you get this week?
Just got one thing, and it's this guy right here.
Hey,
Tarman.
I recognize
I have
that
a-
guy.
I have a story to tell you guys later about this dude, but yeah,
Tarman,
that's the only
baby.
thing I got.
What about you, Chris?
I got a couple things. My co-host Brian is going to give me the Justin Timberlake gif of disapproval, but I got the vintage collection
Hey.
line, Mando line.
What a guy.
I got Mando
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, my BBTF order took through with that one.
and
Really?
Remnant.
Nice.
Yeah,
I had it on pre-order, but I haven't gotten anything.
I found these at. Yeah, I found them at Walmart.
Oh no.
So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know they've been out for a
So-
while. I don't have a car right now, so I don't like get to go look for shit. So I just been like doing
Mhm.
all my shit pre-orders, and I know BBTS takes forever, but I just got they charged me today for that, so it's in my pile of loot.
Yeah,
I saw
definitely.
someone on the local page wanting to trade. I think it was one of those figures for like a spawn. I'm like, no, that's not a
No.
good trade at all.
Chris, are you gonna
No.
open your figures, or are you gonna keep them?
I'll probably. I got two of each, but
Hey.
but
One to
I
rock.
already. Yeah, I know, right? I sold one to one of our other Sixth Scale Scavengers admins, Chris Benware. Sold the Mando to him. He was looking for it, but I'll probably open a Cara Dune, whatever. And I want to open it, but I don't know. We'll see. And then I also, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, does Brian not like 3 3/4 inch or what?
No, it's just yeah. Anytime I buy anything other than
6 scale.
6 scale, he's
Oh,
just
okay.
posting me that. And so then I also got some Marvel Legends. My 3 3/4 inch Star Wars and the Marvel Legends are like some of the roots of my collecting. I couldn't pass these up. Same time I saw the Mando figures. I know, right?
Brian's
One to open,
one to display, and one for just in case.
I mean,
One to stock, one to rock.
naturally.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yo, Chris, when
yeah.
you collect your legends, do you have like a specific does it have to meet like a specific criteria, I guess, or do you just collect whatever you like?
I took a break for a while. I went pretty hard. We had Cletus Selden on, and he's been going nuts with his Marvel Legends collecting lately. And we talked about that, and I don't know. I just kind of picked the characters that I like, but honestly, I open all of them and I toss them in the kids' toy bin. Honestly, I like playing with them. The kids love them, and I just buy different figures that kind of pique my interest, and then I'll 6 months later I'll look through them and be like, oh, this one's going for like $50 on eBay. I think I'll sell that one and buy some more. But yeah, so I got the Black Widow line.
nice.
I got Yelena, Red Guardian, and Taskmaster.
Ooh, nice.
So just cool looking figures. What I usually do is I'll open them. I'll sell the Build-A-Figure pieces separately to try to get some of my money back.
Yeah.
And and that's pretty much it. I also got, I don't know if you guys ever get into it, but I bought some pre-production items over the past couple weeks. I'm kind of into some of that stuff, and if you listen to any of our other content, everybody makes fun of me about being a Harley Quinn fan. So I bought some vintage, well, quote unquote vintage Kenner Harley Quinn pre-production items from like the late 90s. And some stuff from the mid 2000s too recently. So, and again, another disapproval from my co-host as soon as I told him, but it's still cool stuff nonetheless. Pieces that are potentially one of one items, one of two or three.
Yeah.
So just some non 6 scale stuff. Haven't picked up any real 6 scale stuff the last couple weeks.
Where do you go to find your pre-production items?
The depths of Facebook,
the dark web. You're like scrolling through kidneys and
oh yeah,
Harley Quinn.
Another heart. I don't want one of those.
No, I was searching. Once I found, I'm part of several groups that are focused on just prototypes, pre-production. So and yeah,
concepts.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. So, but anyway, it's just it's kind of like a niche thing that I pick up a few pieces here and there. It's funny because a lot of us are into 6 scale and stuff, but the 6 scale pre-production market is like basically non-existent. Right. So it's really interesting. I mean, none of that stuff leaks out of Hot Toys or Sideshow and stuff. So I don't know.
I think Venable has one pre-production head sculpt. He's been taking pictures of it. I don't know if he's serious, but
It's
You never know if he's.
so hard to tell with him.
I think he's gonna come on next week, by the way. But
That's cool.
What?
yeah, I think we're dotting the i's and crossing the t's. But yeah, Funko is really big into the pre-production stuff.
Yes.
They do raffle off a lot of those items with their fun days, and that's
Yeah,
pretty
man.
cool. I didn't realize other companies sold that stuff.
Well, they don't. It's most of the
Probably fell off
time.
the back of a truck or something.
Well, it's most of the time it's former employees, sculptors, designers, stuff. Employees of these companies or freelance sculptors, etc. That kind of hold on to this stuff. The companies don't really want it. And it just sits in boxes, and then people start hunting for it, start reaching out to these people, and it's a whole culture in collecting is pre-production. And I'm sure you guys have heard like some of the vintage Star Wars pre-production stuff going for tens of thousands of dollars, like the rocket firing Boba Fett and all that stuff. And this is, a lesser degree. But it's really interesting. It is. And stuff does leak out. We have seen some early sideshow pre-production pieces pop up, 6th Scale stuff. And then you talk about the Funko. Sorry to go on this tangent, but
we have nothing to talk about this week.
The Funko stuff is crazy. Like you talked about the auctions, a lot of charitable events. They'll give stuff, and that stuff leaks out into the market. And I know one of my characters that I collect is Ahsoka Tano, and I was like, man, I have some of her pre-production stuff, and I was like, it would be cool to get a Funko piece. And somebody posted something on Instagram, and I was like, where did you get that? And he's like, oh, I won it from like a Funko auction and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, and you're interested in selling it? He's like, no, I think it's pretty cool. He didn't really understand like the significance of it, but he just thought it was kind of neat because it was unpainted and all that. But yeah, it is interesting. And some of that stuff goes for crazy money depending on the characters, but I don't know.
I know what you mean about Ahsoka stuff. So I gave my kid last summer an Ahsoka Forces of Destiny figure, and I brought a second one because I really liked it. And I was like, oh, if she breaks one, I'll have a second one. And I saw a bunch of threads like the last 2 weeks, people looking for them. I'm like, why? They're like $10, $12 figures. Dude, I checked on eBay. The fuckers are worth like $200-$300.
Oh my god!
They're going for crazy money now, just because of Clone Wars.
Yeah, just because of Clone Wars.
Dude, I'm so glad I got ahead of all that clone stuff.
Dude, you wouldn't be able to find anything, especially the sideshow ones.
Yeah, I started army building clone 3 3/4 inch figures. I don't know, 3 years ago, and I want to say I have like 200-300 of them. And then my 6th Scale clones, I have 10. I was like, I want to have an even number, so they're all different. Like Echo 5s, Rex, Cody, Gree, Bly, like all them. And yeah, now it's like I couldn't feasibly do that with a decent amount of money if I wanted to.
Yeah, man, you got ahead of that market, and that was pretty smart.
And I feel like I was late considering, but now it's even crazier. So
I know we hear stories about people selling off. What is it? The Rex second version or whatever, for
$400.
Yeah, I know people are like, I sold that when it was like $140, $150 and stuff. Now, I mean, I never thought that stuff was going to go crazy like that, but people love Clone Wars, and especially with that first arc of the season, it's nuts. And I got into the 6th Scale game way too late to even, sniff at any of those at a decent price.
Well, luckily Cody's coming out. I mean, he got postponed, but I mean, do you have that one on pre-order?
I don't yet. It's one that it's one that I was going back and forth on, just because I was trying to figure out what I was going to set him up with. And my Obi-Wan is going to go with my dark side Anakin. So I'm like, how does Cody fit into, a display? But the figure looks so cool that you can find a place for it.
Yeah. Luckily, well, one, I also have Obi-Wan, but two, I have all those clones. So I
Mhm.
already have a Cody, the original Sideshow. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna see which one. I mean, I'm assuming the Hot Toys is gonna be better, but Hot Toys made those with Sideshow, the
Mhm.
original ones. So I don't know how much better it'll be, but yeah, I'll probably just see whatever that Cody's going for at the time and just hawk it because
Yeah. It would be cool to do a side by side comparison with them in hand.
yeah,
But you know, if the prices are right
yeah,
to sell,
good,
you know how that
good idea
goes.
for a video.
Chris, would you mind introducing yourself for those? I know we have a lot of carryover on both ends, but I imagine there's some people that listen to our show that haven't heard of Sixth Scale Scavengers. And we'll talk a lot more about your show towards
Sure.
the end of it. But could you maybe give a brief introduction to yourself and then the team that you're on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Chris Leddy, one of the co-founders of Sixth Scale Scavengers podcast, YouTube channel, website. Of course, my co-host Brian does most of the heavy lifting with the website and recording and all that stuff. But yeah, him and I started Sixth Scale Scavengers close to 2 years now. We went live about just over a little over a year and a half ago. I'm collector like everybody else. Didn't get into Sixth Scale until 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago. And I've been a collector my whole life. Been ever since I can remember. My brother was quite a bit older than me, and he introduced me to Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Masters of the Universe, all that 80s goodness. Yeah, so I collected all that stuff all the way through high school and till today. So I'm just collecting everything. I mean, I used to collect everything, but I've really dialed it down the last couple of years.
Yeah,
So.
all the GIFs you've been getting, they're like peer pressuring you to just collect Sixth Scale.
I know, it's funny. It's
You know, we just badly influence each other all the time. There's no restraint in this group chat that we have.
yeah. There's a lot of peer pressure going on
There's
with
a lot of
our
the
group.
a lot of the Palpatine gif. Do it.
Do it.
That's our version of the Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
We're all bad influences. But this week, I was very fortunate. Danny Lee, who's also watching us live,
Hey.
I'm painting, I think, like 4 or 5 Tony May head sculpts for him. And as a thank you gift, I told him, I was like, dude, I'll just paint them for free. Like, they're not that complicated to paint. It's mostly like a mask with like an exposed mouth, which is, not that difficult. And he's like, no, I really want to get you anything, like something that is like really nice. And I kept trying to talk him out of it, like, no, it's really not a big deal. And he kept insisting. And on Monday, a Hot Toys T'Chaka showed up at my door, and that figure is fucking awesome.
What?
I have T'Challa and then Killmonger and then T'Chaka. And honestly, the T'Chaka is probably my favorite. The cultural garb, the gold chrome. Really wish he had
jam.
dude. Whenever
I'm jammed.
Dude, I was so tired yesterday when you posted that. I was like, what is he trying to say?
I know you didn't even like
my
it.
brain wasn't even working. I was like, I don't know. I don't understand what's going on here. But now I understand.
Man,
thank you.
That's one heck of a gift.
Yeah. So I told them I would as soon as I get his sculpts, I'll start working on them. But so that was really cool. And then we also got our auxiliary icons prototype in the mail, and we'll show those off later. We'll also give one of those away. So we talked about them last episode, and we finally.
I see over there by your T-Rex.
Yeah, it's right there. Look at that.
Crispy, dude.
I painted it. I didn't even need to sand it.
Oh, you already painted it? God
Yeah.
damn, I just left your house.
There it is. So it's, dude, honestly, that is like gonna become like a thing, like the one that we have up there. It's gonna be on the table from now on. It's just that good.
Yeah.
So let's get into the Hot Toys news. So Hot Toys put up the Captain Marvel in-game figure coming in at $260, releasing April to June 2021. Kind of a bare bones release.
Did this come out of nowhere? I feel like it's just pop. I wasn't expecting this.
I want it.
It seems to be out of nowhere. I
don't remember seeing like
really
a
like this
teaser for it
character,
or anything.
and I don't particularly like the fact that they went with a body with a neck. Because I think the original one is just the head, right?
I have no idea.
Wait, is it?
That's what
Does the
someone
costume go all the way
No.
up there?
No,
is the other one a neck also?
I think so.
Let me look
I want to
this up
say so.
quick.
It's not like
someone was
Spider-Man.
complaining about the body.
Let's look
Oh,
at-
that's right.
What do y'all think about it while we're looking this up?
I want this.
It looks good. I'm not a huge fan of that character, so I wouldn't buy this. But I mean, again, they usually just it's also a prototype picture, so of course
Mhm.
it looks even better. But I mean,
Yeah, it looks like it is a head with a body, but
knocked it
I
out.
mean,
Of the
either
park.
way, it just seems very bare bones. It seems a little late. Like, I mean, Hot Toys tends to do this. Like, this is far enough out that the first one has come out already, and like people can't return it. Like, this is just like typical Hot Toys stuff, you know. Because what the movie came out last year or the year before?
Yeah.
Last year.
I don't know. It just seems like a long time, being that they've already made a Captain Marvel. Are you gonna pick this up, Chris?
Well, to be fair, that last Captain Marvel movie came out just before Endgame,
That
Mhm.
is
so
true.
they really squeezed that one out.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean we've seen it before, right? As soon as one version of a figure drops, the Hot Toys releases the next version, like with Thanos.
Or Luke and Luke Deluxe.
Yep. Yeah. So for me, I mean, I think looking at the prototype pictures and the pictures that people have snapped at Secret Base, and that's, you know, I think the figure looks really good. I think the head sculpt looks exactly like Brie Larson. I mean, there's no denying that is Brie Larson. I just watched Endgame. Well, the first half of it last night. So this image, is very fresh in my memory. I think the figure looks great. I'm actually a big Captain Marvel fan. I really like the Solo movie, and I like the way she portrays the character. So for me, in a dream world situation, I would have both figures, but I still haven't. I had a pre-order for the original one, but I canceled it with the show when it got delayed, and so I could get my money back. And then I wanted to wait until it was actually in stock and try to, scoop it up with a discount or something down the road. But I don't know. I mean, we have seen some people that have had the figure, the original one, with some creasing in long-term poses. Whether or not those issues can be worked out with some heat or something, I don't know. But
Dude,
again,
I remember with the Iron Spider, I had it for a few days. I don't think I really had it that long, but anytime you would pose it, I mean, and some people say the suit is like self-healing for what it's worth, but that was always a scary figure to articulate. And I haven't owned another Hot Toys with a suit material like that, like this. But yeah, I remember watching, I think it was D Knight's review of Iron Spider when he first got it, and he was just miserable the whole time. And then towards the end, he's like, I just put it next to this furnace and it started fixing itself. I'm like, that's a $300 figure. You shouldn't have to heat it up in a furnace to fix it.
I'm like Dean. Dean and I were talking the other day about how most of our figures are like museum poses. I just like the museum pose on pretty much anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so kind of like heroic and stoic about a museum pose that's just like way more imposing to me than like, I don't know, like a flying pose or something.
Right.
So I don't mind the museum pose. Even in like Spider-Man, like I just think it looks really cool, like him almost like jacked.
You look at this picture that that's on the screen right now, and she's holding the gauntlet and everything. I mean, I wouldn't have any worries about her being in that pose. Maybe her right elbow after a little while, but for me,
glass half full person, I'm just like, man, that gauntlet's gonna eat into the rubber of that suit. Like, I just can't trust anything. Like I just see some crazy ass threads like every week on OSR.
You know,
Like,
you're not wrong. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Chris?
No, I was just saying, like, between the two figures, the thing is, I like the deluxe of the other one that comes with all the good, all the other stuff, and I know that, the jacket. I know Goose looks kind of weak for the price point, but I still like those accessories and everything. The opportunity to mix it up, but I do kind of like this one a little bit better. Her, as she is. So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Danny Lee says he likes the suit better than the first with the sash.
Mhm.
KJ Smith agrees, and Mario Cortez says this is the only Captain Marvel I'll be picking up. I like the Marvel Legends. I know you talked about Marvel Legends earlier, but the Captain Marvel, the solo movie, it's a good figure.
Dude,
I've
got that one.
Yeah, it's one of the best Legends that they've come out with in recent memory. I don't remember this suit being that different, but it totally is. I guess I was not paying attention to Captain
She was also moving like super fast and like.
I was.
And I will say the lineup. I didn't grab a picture, but the lineup that Hot Toys put up with all the female characters looked pretty fucking sick.
I know, and they had Mantis in there too, and that's one of the figures that I really want, because Guardians of the Galaxy is really high on my Marvel list. So I really
isn't there like a third party version?
Yeah, the bullet head.
Yeah,
Did Hot Toys announce one or no?
They teased it at San Diego Comic-Con last summer.
Okay, I was like, when I saw that picture that you're talking about, I remember thinking like, oh yeah, there's Mantis. Not like, holy shit, they're showing a Mantis, so that makes sense. But I guess they haven't formally announced it then.
Oh, yeah, Hot Toys with their teasing of
and then
figures.
They may never put it out. So.
Yeah, we'll be 3 years from now with Guardians 7, and we're still waiting on damn Mantis.
This looks like my Theo Pete.
So up on the screen here, we have the art figures. One Sixth Scale Ulysses Klaue coming in at $130 US, releasing Q3 2020. I've seen this bill as high as $160, depending where you're pre-ordering it at. But I gotta say, I really like the look of this figure. It comes with an interchangeable arm with the Wakandan gun thing, 2 pistols, the Wakandan hammer, a briefcase, and a necklace. And I gotta say, I mean, this isn't the greatest likeness of all time, but I think I saw Chris, you put somewhere earlier, and it's really good points. Like, this is instantly recognizable as as Ulysses Klaue. Like, you're not going to mistake this for any other character.
Right.
I think it needs to be like a little dirtier. In the movie, he was all grungy, but other than that, I think this is a home run. And the price,
the tailoring on the vest is weird.
Yeah, he looks a little too broad.
Yeah,
the pants look really well done, but you're right. The vest,
on the shoulders, on the waist area, the abdomen, it looks great. But just like the vest goes like way too far out. But this looks great. Are you gonna get it, Zach? Because now you have all the Wakanda figures.
I'm actually tempted because it would be like a really good.
He's not gonna have it by the time these things pop out.
This is coming out in September, so and you're very true. I would say, even though I think T'Chaka is the best figure, I think the last one I would sell would be Killmonger, just because I like Michael B. Jordan so much more. But this would be a really good second figure to put on a shelf with a Killmonger, even though Killmonger does kill this guy. But at least in the first half.
Wow!
Spoiler alert!
What?
No, Joe, dude, what the hell?
Jesus.
Just gonna watch it.
Keep it out. Man, this is a good looking figure though, and I mean, for 130, at 160, it's kind of like 130 though.
You can pose this one with Ultron also, the Hot Toys.
That is true.
Just take the arm off.
Very true.
I'm also kind of wondering how that left arm works, because it looks like it's just like a peg.
Yeah, it comes into the bicep, like a bicep swivel, and it just pops out.
Okay, so the other replacement arm would still have a elbow.
Yeah, the other one would probably still have that peg as well.
Okay.
This looks great though.
Yeah, it looks like it has a seam where it snaps in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Andy Serkis, like anything he does.
That's the thing. I really want Andy Serkis figure, Mike. I really want Caesar from Planet of the Apes, but no one's ever going to make that figure.
Well, and most of the time he's in mocap, so like to get him in his,
Just
actual
guy.
I mean, the face sculpt, like from far away, it looks it looks pretty decent, but up close, like straight on, it looks more of a
Ooh.
caricature of of
That's
Klaue.
fair.
Like a more stylized.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think this is the same company that made that really stylized. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the really stylized Aquaman, and it looks like this neck has that same like cartoonish body proportions right here. Maybe it's actually why the body was so oddly shaped up top, because that Aquaman body was like really jacked.
His lats are like crazy.
My man don't skip lat day at all.
And
was his tie like that, like all loose?
I mean, you could probably front that. I wouldn't be too worried about that.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like everything up top is like it's ripping out.
You just got some of that Wakandan flower stuff.
No shit.
He has the power of the Black Panther. And I figured a body swap too, because the arm is so specific to this figure, and then the tattoo in the other arm, you couldn't just like easily swap it out for something.
Right.
Yeah, I like the tattoo for sure. The print on there looks awesome. We don't get too many figures that have the tattoos printed on, other than like say Joker or Harley, some of those figures. But being a tattoo guy, I like to see that, and it's not one that I would go for. Me, probably about a year ago, I would have gone for it, but I'm trying to clean up the collection, because I love these secondary characters, tertiary characters, but man, you only got so much room, and
they start filling out the shelf real fast.
Yeah, so speaking of like secondary characters, I tried making a I can't even Ross from Everett Ross from Black Panther. What's his name? Martin Freeman. I had bought a Doctor Who figure of his, and I bought a suit, and I was going to make him into Everett Ross from Black Panther as a complementary figure to my other Black Panther figures. And I was getting so frustrated because he's a shorter character. I could not find a suit to fit properly. And like I bought several suits, and I bought this figure, and I'm like, this sucks. And I'm not.
Pro tip: just go to a seamstress. Like I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I've had some stuff like very minorly modified by a seamstress, and honestly, it was like such a different thing, because all day they're just hemming, and it was something so out there that they didn't even want to charge me, and it took them like 3 seconds to do.
No kidding. Oh man.
Yeah. So just put your pride aside and take your action figure pants and get them tailored. It's really not that bad, and even like I've used it a few times. Liquid stitch.
Okay.
It's you have to be a little less heavy-handed with the application, but it's like a glue. You fold it over, put the glue, and you can kind of create a hem like that. And then you just have to put like a book on it overnight, and it'll dry. Okay. It's like a liquid stitch, obviously.
Yeah.
Or even just just stitching it yourself. I mean, needle and thread, pretty cheap. You're not that handy. Yeah, I
would fuck it up.
I know I would. It would look so bad.
Yeah, but there are ways to get that done. But yeah, I've been in your shoes before, where it's like you have a short character, a character that's too tall, and everything is just a nightmare.
I was so bummed out because like I had this in my mind. Like this is the problem I have. I'm like, I have this idea and I want to get it done, and I run into a problem, and I'm like, forget it. Like I don't want to. I don't want to.
Boys, you're among friends here. You can reach out to us for custom help, Chris.
Yeah, I dumped all that stuff.
Whenever I have a question, I just ask Zach.
I know.
I don't even bother.
No, I've been listening to you guys forever. I should have known better.
My heart hurts, Chris. My heart hurts.
That's actually unrelated. He's been seeing a doctor.
Well, I think you would be a doctor for that. But anyways, so this is from Jazz Inc. Dioramas. They're in pre-production on this 6th Scale BBS Cave, the Justice Computer Lab. Some specs here. The computer desk will come with a metal desktop, all equipment like the rack units, keyboards, etc. The 6 screens as fixed images printed on Perspex. The custom ergo chair, the floor support structures with metal rods. So this is in pre-production. It's $749 coming out April 2021. And right now, like I said, it's in pre-production. So this is a kind of like a fan suggestion that Yoast got. And this will not be made if a certain threshold of orders isn't hit. So if this is something that you'd like to see made, hit up Yoast at info@jazzincdioramas.com. They're also working on some more Batman stuff. So this is a 6 scale searchlight, and this is a 3D render that they have here. And the one thing that I really like about this is that they give you 6 different Batman silhouettes. So you can pop this off of the light and you can replace it with any of these other 5
That's awesome
silhouettes, which is just like a genius idea. And so, that's a really good price, comes in at $250. And then he's also, actually real quick, going back to the light, it is made of die-cast parts, 15 inches high, will fit in an IKEA Detolf. Like I said, 6 different silhouettes from 6 different eras. And the measurements are approximately 38 centimeters wide, 20 deep, and 38 high. And the guy that he's working with to make the rendering is, his name is Richard Money.
Is that LED or...
I think in the video he put up the other day, he said it was halogen. I could be wrong, but that seems like it would make more sense to do it as LED. I know in the video he was wanting to make it so that people could replace the bulbs themselves. But if you're using like an LED has, lifespan of 10 plus years,
right?
Constantly on. But again, like I said, I didn't see on the specs, and I know he's still kind of working on the design. So I can't comment on that question just yet, but I believe in the video he said it was a halogen light. And then the last project that I wanted to show you guys was the Vulture. He put up a video this week on his YouTube channel, Jazz Inc. Dioramas, and it showed some different exploded views of the redesign that they did for the Iron Scavenger, and it's coming along pretty good. So that's also on jazzincdioramas.com. So check those out if you want a Vulture, a Searchlight, or the Batman Computer Lab diorama.
Looks dope.
Dean, I have been loving Transformers lately, and Takara... Almost too much. You're 100% right. But Takara put up a video the other day of something really special. It's the Transformers MPM-10 Bayverse movie Starscream from movie 1. And it is fantastic. This is a huge upgrade from I think in like the early 2008, 2010, they released in a line called Hunt for the Decepticons a Starscream mold, and they repurposed that mold and repainted it for MPM-1. And a lot of people thought it was kind of cheeky because it wasn't really a masterpiece mold. It was just like a basic Hasbro mold. And you can see here, this is what on the left, this is a third party of that mold, and this is the right, which is the official. But for MPM-10, it looks like they did retool the mold and like redo a lot of parts of it. This is quite expensive, though. I know, Dean, you and I were talking about this off air, but it's $239, releasing September 2020, and this is in the United States is going to be a Target exclusive.
I can't imagine Target carrying $200 figures.
Yeah,
but where else are you going to carry it? Toys R Us is gone.
Are they? Do you think Target is going to amp up their kind of specialty section or something?
I think someone has to. Toys R Us used to carry Masterpiece. So having a figure like this on a retail shelf isn't unheard of, but Target,
I can't imagine it being in the.
Target sells $100 Black Series helmets, so this is obviously twice as expensive as that. But
they can put it in a glass case, and then when you want
that's true. They do carry a lot of the high end Funko stuff, like the pop protected stuff and everything,
or the video games where they have them.
Yeah,
that's true. But are they going to make a whole section for just one $200 figure? What other $200 figures are they going to carry?
Maybe they get the other Masterpiece, and $239 seems like a lot, but I mean, kind of being a Hot Toys collector, we're kind of dull to that price point.
True.
But I mean, Takara Masterpiece, like the Optimus Prime goes for $450. That's the retail price.
Oh, damn.
So I mean, that sounds like a lot of money, but in Transformers terms, that's like a pretty mid-range figure. I'm very interested to see the size of this because I have the Black Mamba, which is a oversized studio series, and this thing is fucking huge.
Holy cow!
And then I also have the God 08, which is the one on the left here coming in from a deal I did with another Transformer collector, and I mean, both of those are really big. And it kind of brings me to one of my things with Starscream is, Dean, you obviously know I'm very anal about scale.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah. And so this God 08 Starscream is like actually in scale with the 3A Optimus.
Oh, nice.
But the Claire figure from the Bumblebee movie that I have, which is in scale with the Optimus as well, is way too big compared to Starscream. And I've been thinking about this for like 2 weeks. Like, how is this just doesn't make any sense. And I was going on the MPM-10 thread on TF Source, and someone was like, well, actually the Starscream from the movie is using like mass shifting because we know how big this actual real plane is. And we can like get scale parts, for example, the cockpit here. Mm-hmm. And you can see that the Starscream should be almost twice as tall as Megatron, but as an Optimus, but in the movie he's as tall. So I feel really good that like my mind can rest now that I know that it's just not like some weird figure thing. Because I mean, there's no way that Claire figure could fit in this cockpit that's in the front of this figure. So super nerdy. No one probably cares about it. But
when you said that Starscream was the same size as Optimus Prime, in my head I was like, F-22s are not the size of a
truck, right?
Of a big rig. Those things are huge.
Yeah, I've they come to my dad's base every once in a while, and they're fucking massive.
Yeah.
But I just felt really good, like that this little thing that I never thought anyone cared about was like answered in such detail on this forum. So you can see your F-22
weirdo on the internet.
You're not alone.
Someone stacking goats.
You and one other guy.
Some other guy stacking goats on top of a T-Rex.
Who does that?
I do that. Dean, you have a grinds my gears. For the first time ever, I don't have a grinds my gears this week, but you do, and I love your grinds my gears. So tell me about it, Dean.
I've almost come around on this.
Really?
I'm so split on this. It's frustrating. So Todd McFarlane put up on his what is this called? Kickstarter. Sorry, I was thinking it was GoFundMe. Kickstarter. The Spawn figure that he showed off at Toy Fair, which is a recreation of the very first figure he ever released of Spawn. This prototype. Now, this one that he's showing here is not only what you're paying. That's not what you're going to get. Apparently, the one that is up for Kickstarter is going to have 20 points of articulation. This is a statue that they're showing. So they don't even have a product to show you. It comes in two different versions, Classic Spawn, Modern Spawn, which is just the paint scheme, and then an artist proof right here that you're showing. Now at Toy Fair, this figure that is shown 7-inch here was actually like, I think 14 inches, which I was super stoked about because I was like, oh, I'll totally buy that, but they're not even making that anymore.
Yeah.
So then he launches this Kickstarter, and it's like, why are you making us pay for a figure that you could just make anyway? Like, it's just so frustrating because it's like, people want this, they're gonna buy it. Why do you need them to bankroll you to do it?
Yeah,
which we've talked about before.
Yeah, there's some people in our hobby that have like genuine passion projects, like articulated icons, like people that don't have, the means and the company behind them to make things. So when I see companies like Todd McFarlane Productions or Hasbro crowdfunding shit, I just can't get behind
something it. Rubs me the wrong way about it.
Yeah.
Now I will say this:
take the risk to make this and potentially have it fail.
So I forget this is the reason why I've kind of come around on this. When he first launched this, it was only one figure. But the fan base knocked out the goal in like hours.
Yeah, it was like 4 hours.
And he was like, all right, well, if we raise this much money, I'll include a different version of the figure. And then I'll also include different head sculpts, right? And then they knocked that goal out. And he was like, all right, we'll offer a 3-pack now. And then that 3-pack will have 2 additional exclusive head sculpts for the 3-pack. But it's like, okay, so if I want the 3-pack, not only do I have to bankroll the initial figure, but a second and a third. So now it's like almost $200 to get this thing. Speaking of which, it's $40 for the base figure. That's 20 more than it would be just retail.
Yeah.
So it's like, what am I paying an extra $20 for to bankroll your damn figure? It's just so frustrating. But it's like he is adding additional stuff, so I'm kind of like not so pissed off, but I'm still really mad. Like, because I really wanted this figure, and now I have to kickstart to get it. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Like Chris.
Do you have? I know we've roasted Hasbro. Yeah, settle Dean down here. What do you think about these things that are happening lately in our hobby? I know you're a big Hasbro fan.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even.
Did you back the barge?
I did not.
Hard Justin Timberlake GIF right there.
Oh God, yeah. And the thing is, I've transitioned out of. I just pick up a couple modern figures here and there, but there aren't even any to pick up really other than a random vintage collection figure. So yeah, I mean the whole Kickstarter with the big company kind of thing, it's you like Dean said, and it's tough because you feel like these companies should be able to take the risk and take the financial risk. But these options are out there now, and they see the success that some of these companies have. Yeah. So it's like, hey, why don't we try something and see what comes of it? Because, initially it's tough, but who knows, maybe this spawns like a whole line of figures.
Wow. That was fantastic.
That was horrible.
It just really bums me out because it's like, if I want this figure, which I do, I really like Spawn. I have to not only pay the premium of the Kickstarter, because this is a $25 figure. Tops. But now I have to spend $40.
Yeah.
If I want the classic version or the modern version, you could pick. But let's just say I wanted both. That's $40 retail. Now I got to spend $80 just to say I back the product. And if I don't, I'm gonna pay even more money aftermarket because we know people are gonna price gouge.
Yeah,
it's like, instantly. Well, I backed it, and you didn't. So
instantly.
If you want my figures, you got to pay a premium, which I also understand. But at the same time, it's like, well, shit. Like, what about the just average person who just wanted this figure? Now they can't get it.
It's a total catch-22 because if you really want it, your best. I mean, we know these things. Like, if there's a Hot Toys you really want, you should probably pre-order it at retail because the trend is usually they skyrocket after they sell out. I don't feel
bad at all for people that don't pre-order and complain about
Scavengers.
Right. It's like so like a year.
No, and I mean that's kind of the thing. And unfortunately, I mean, I guess you could look at it as a pre-order, and you just kind of go, just try to get past this thing because he hasn't done it with anything else. So this is his first time around. I mean, McFarlane, I was collecting Spawn figures back in the 90s. I I was driving around to all the Walmarts and everything, picking up everything on clearance. Like I had so many Spawn figures, and I had all the comics, and I mean, I love Spawn, and trust me, if they made Sixth Scale Spawn figure, you know, fully articulated, all the mixed media, like an official one, I would be, you know, I would be in on that, because the nostalgia for Spawn, even though it's not huge for me, the fact that he would come out with a figure in the scale that I'm really focusing on now, you know, would be huge. But as far as this goes, the backing, I mean, I've been a part of Kickstarters for something that I've wanted and it hasn't gotten backed, and then I've been a part of ones where they blow up. Like for the vintage collection, there was a book that went out last year. The guys that used to be involved with Hasbro and stuff created this vintage collection book, and it blew their minds, like how many people were involved in this.
Yeah.
I mean, and backing it, and just kept on hitting every goal, and they kept on adding more and more and more and more. I mean, they're making coins, they're making posters, they're making prints, they're adding more pages, all kinds of stuff, because they are so thankful that so many people were backing it. And
Right.
I mean, I think with this one, don't you get an autograph plaque from Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
There's some cool, there's definitely some cool, which is why I'm less upset, is that he's adding a bunch of stuff that wasn't originally there.
He may still add more stuff too,
but
we don't know.
What also makes me mad is like, okay, so you're crowdfunding this thing and immediately blowing through goals, which means people want it. So you don't need to crowdsource it. You could just make it and it will sell.
Yeah.
But nope, we have to pay the premium.
One thing that I thought was so cheeky is I saw some posts, people were like, oh, if we hit X number of backers, we'll get real metal chains. And I'm like, dude, I have a Spawn statue from like the early 2000s that had metal chains. Like metal chains aren't like a thing to withhold if you don't get a certain number of backers.
Honestly, the metal chains are they don't hold up. I'd rather have the rubber chains. The plastic or the metal ones are so small that sometimes they'll catch and bend out of shape and then come loose, and then you're screwed. But so
I don't. What's the timing on this? What's the?
Oh shoot! I didn't even see when it ended. I was so furious. I think
it ends furiously backing it.
16 days.
I have not backed it, but I'm considering doing it.
Right now, there's 13,162 backers with a total of $1,723,623.
But see, that's another thing. Like the figure that they're showing isn't what you're gonna get.
That's
because
tricky.
They said it comes with 20 points of articulation, and the thing on the Kickstarter is a statue.
Yeah, so in one of the questions, because on Kickstarter you can ask questions. Todd McFarlane said that, like, confirmed that it's not, but that they had to choose like one photo to represent the figure. That's the one they chose of each one was like a static pose statue, which doesn't.
See, I would love to have the classic and the modern. Because by the time I started getting into Spawn, it was modern. He didn't have the red on the suit. It was just the black. But that was also the time when the comic book cover figures were coming out. And there was all kinds of Spawn figures. I still have them in their boxes somewhere at my other house. And it's like, I love all versions of Spawn. Spawn's super cool. Al Simmons is such a badass dude. They're coming out with the new movie, which I'm pretty excited
I was just gonna say.
So maybe you'll get one, Chris.
Yeah. Have we heard anything about that movie recently?
I think the last I heard.
Oh, go on, Manny.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the last thing I heard was Jamie Foxx was gonna be Al Simmons.
That's what I heard.
I heard that he dipped out. That's what I heard.
Ooh.
To get Michael B. Jordan in there.
Oh man,
that'd be tight. I don't think he's old enough for Al Simmons, but Al Simmons was like a battle-hardened vet.
That figure that I was showing you was from Kane's Productions. I don't know how big of a fan I am.
People, so.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing just rubs me the wrong way, and I'm like reluctant to just out of spite not join it, the Kickstarter. But if I don't, like, I'm not gonna get that figure, and also bums me out. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll keep you guys updated.
Chris, you're such a positive person. I love it.
Right? What a
Glass half full.
he was
You
like,
can
"Why don't you
tell
think of it
there's
as a
like a
pre-order?"
big-
And I was like, "Damn,
There's
you're
a
right."
big like yin yang with our shows. You guys are so positive, and we're like so overtly negative. It's
I mean, that's why I love listening to you guys. I love Dean going on his rants and everything, and grinds your gears. I just love it.
This is our first inaugural Collecting Scavengers collaboration.
Oh, I know. Jeez.
We've been trying to do this for
Finally.
I know it's been impossible to coordinate.
So Super Mad Toys posted a little bit of a delay. So they said these are the almost final versions of painted head sculpts. 2 head sculpt colors have been confirmed. I want to ensure the color process cannot go wrong. Now the progress is greatly affected by the outbreak. Only a few workers can work back in the factory. Hopefully things can be recovered soon so that the figures can be delivered in May. And this is in regards to the Agent K from Blade Runner 2049. We actually might be in 2049 by the time this figure comes out.
I was about to say, every time you bring this up, it's like, oh, another slight delay. It's like,
I thought you guys talked about this like a year ago, and it was
we
like
talked about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's awful. I honestly, I mean, it's a figure. You guys aren't building a goddamn rocket ship.
I remember when this went up for pre-order, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm just kind of worried about paying it off in time." And then now it's like, "Oh, I paid that off like
2 years
2 years ago," and I'm still. It's like,
I'm actually
jeez.
worried because I mean, I have all my PayPal receipts and everything, but I just don't want it to come to that time where it's ready to go, and they're like, "Oh, you owe, X amount of dollars."
Inflation in the past 2 years.
I'll say I don't like bankrolling a figure on Kickstarter, but at least I know McFarlane will get that shit out in time. Not like this.
Ugh, don't even. I
This
mean,
is bad.
Some Kickstarters have been funded and have not been made, but
that's true.
At least, but the good thing is I'm with a very reputable company. So if this doesn't come out, TNS, I have no doubt will we'll refund the money. Only one thing released this week, the Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. I'm very torn on this figure, Dean. I tagged you on a post today of a guy going through some posing with this guy, and it looked fantastic, but it just really bothers me that they added these little scratches on the figure and they didn't paint them in. I'm perfectly fine with the torn clothes and no battle damage, but if you're going to do both and then not go the extra mile on a fairly expensive figure arts as far as Goku's concerned, this is almost twice as expensive as most of his releases.
Is it really? Was it $50?
$50 to $60, yeah. Then most Goku's come in at 35. So not too keen on it. Have your thoughts changed at all?
No. In fact, I'm the one that messaged you all pissed off about it. I was like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because I was like, they're either surface like scratches, so it'd be like dirt, or they would be so deep they'd be bloody. So which is it? Because you haven't done anything to these scrapes that you've added to the figure. It looks stupid.
Yeah, it should be like a deco, like just a real shallow, decal that they place over the figure, not
dirt maybe
in the flesh. It's just
with no blood or anything. I don't know. Maybe they can't put blood on a figure. I have no idea.
I mean, he wasn't really that bloody though. It was more dirt in the anime.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna get it, but
have you seen in-hand pictures of this guy?
Yeah. There's a few people that have gotten theirs already from Ami, and I mean, I thought it looked really good in the pictures, but I just couldn't get past like those little scratch marks. And it's a shame because this torso for customs is like a godsend because people have been trying to make their own torsos for like years. But yeah, I mean, I have this figure in pre-order. I already have $15 down on it at GameStop. So, I mean, it comes out in May. Maybe I'll like it more by then, but I don't know. This is not a thing that I'm enthusiastically buying, especially since I already have the demoniacal fit heads on the Awakening Goku body, which is, I think, far superior to this one.
I mean, isn't it basically the same figure?
The Goku body has that piece of clothing.
Well, I know, but it essentially takes it off.
Yeah. So,
and that's, I've said it before. I will say it again. That's one of my top figures of all time. So I have no doubt I will like this, but that just bothers me that there's no added detail to the detail they added.
Yeah,
it is tough for that price point not to get that additional
Right. For how
paint
small
app or
these
whatever.
really are.
I mean, and let's be real. I mean, you could probably do this in like 2 seconds with like a little bit of paint or a marker or something. But at the same time, it's like, should I have to do that?
No.
I don't know.
I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, you do kind of customize everything, so I'm
Oh,
sure
I know.
it'll.
I know. I'm also the same
you know.
person that bought a Killmonger and then fucking spent 2 hours changing all the lines. So
Yeah.
I am not the person to be the bearer of that one. Dean, give us a sponsor tag.
Yeah, Watto's Scrapyard is the sponsor for today's episode. Super amazing guy. Filling holes on your shelves you didn't even know you need filled. He makes parts for your old Hasbro and Kenner vehicles, head sculpts from 3 3/4 all the way up to 6 scale. Whatever you need, he's either got it or can get it. So just message our buddy Sean Fear, aka Watto, and he'll get whatever you need done.
What a guy. What a guy.
The best guy.
So big news coming out of San Diego this week, the official cancellation of SDCC. So I want to say the last few weeks have been an unprecedented time since it is becoming apparent that COVID-19 restrictions will not be a short-term matter. We have made the sad decision to cancel Comic-Con for the first time in its 50-year history. And pretty much they just expand upon that, saying that exhibitors for the Comic-Con 2020 will have the option to request a refund or transfer their payment to Comic-Con 2021. Same with badge holders, and that will be in an email that comes next week. And also hotel reservations made through OnPeak, the official Comic-Con hotel affiliate, will be canceled automatically. So we've hammered this, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, thinking it should be canceled. Now that it has been canceled, I've seen a lot of companies that I know exhibit offer to do a virtual booth, and I think that's really fantastic. I know Chronicle and several other companies. I'm sure Sideshow would do it as well.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. I think it's a really good call. What about you guys?
Yeah. I mean, we knew it was coming. Just the way things have been playing out across the country. I think it's for the best. I think everybody just takes a rain check on all these conventions and everything this year. And, maybe it'll just make those events that much more exciting and a lot more people will attend next year, as long as everything's, safe and that sort of thing. But it is a bummer because you guys know, like, this is our bread and butter, like all the stuff that gets dropped at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our most viewed content was our San Diego Comic-Con review stuff. And it's just, it's a bummer, but hopefully, I know, like you said, Zach, that some of these companies, these manufacturers will hopefully do some online stuff, maybe they'll do some virtual panels. Whether or not we get, drop movie information, TV show information, all that stuff. I think a lot of stuff is still like in limbo as far as production wise. And, but yeah, it stinks. I mean, we saw so many Hot Toys prototypes last year that, it's just, it's tough. It's such a bummer.
The only thing that kind of concerns me here is the hotel reservations only made through the OnPeak and the official affiliate. That kind of sucks.
Well, I'm sure the other ones you can call them and cancel. I think it's my understanding is that the city has an agreement with people that, with any hotel that's in that area for that weekend. It's, like, it's an agreement that they get certain rates and.
Okay. I mean,
at least
as long as they're looking out for everybody, because that would suck if
I think it's just saying, like, for those people that did this, you don't have to do anything extra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So, I could totally be wrong, but
what's next? Star Wars Celebration.
That's in what?
August?
I thought you were telling me to go to the next slide. I was like, God damn.
No. I was like,
no.
This dude's taking control of the show.
No.
You talk to Brian.
Get on with this segment.
Oh man.
No.
Dude, that'll be a tough one. But also at the same time, like, what really do they have to talk about at Star Wars Celebration?
I know a lot of people are talking that if they don't have it this year, they may not have it I mean, this is just speculation, just because of what's going on next year. D23 is next year, so Disney
them?
is. What's that?
They might combine them or what?
No, they might just skip Star Wars Celebration and have it be not until 2022. Because they've been trying to stagger. They tried to make it so that it was Star Wars Celebration one year and then D23 the next, and then so it goes back and forth. So we'll probably know pretty soon. I had tickets to it. I sold to another collector buddy, but the refund has to go through me. But I had wanted to go, but the timing is just horrible.
You had tickets to Celebration or to SDCC?
Celebration, because I went to Celebration last year, and it was such an amazing experience that I was like, I got to go to the next one. And then, it was as soon as tickets weren't available last year, I got them in the first like 10 seconds. And I was just like, I'll figure everything else out, as we go. And then, life happens, and I'm like, yeah, that's right right before school starts for my kid. And it's just not feasible. So I sold mine, but still, perfect world. I would love to go, every year. So it is a total bummer, especially for all the vendors and everybody that banks on it for their income and that sort of thing. It's such a bummer all around.
This sounds so bad, but I really don't care for the people that go to SDCC to scalp shit. I could care less. Exhibitors I could totally see, but there's a lot of people in San Antonio that do that, and it's fucking awful.
Me.
That guy.
Manny, give us the introduction to our retro review.
All right, so we're going to be talking about The Return of the Living Dead. It was announced, it was released on August 16th, 1985. And I'll give you guys a quick synopsis. If you haven't heard it, obviously, it's a spoiler, kind of. So just listen anyways, because we're awesome. Okay, so here it goes. When Foreman Frank shows new employee Freddy a secret military experiment in a supply warehouse, the two klutzes accidentally release a gas that reanimates corpses into flesh-eating zombies. As the epidemic spreads through Louisville, Kentucky, and the creatures satisfy their hunger in gory and outlandish ways, Frank and Freddy fight to survive with the help of their boss and a mysterious mortician.
It's actually currently brain-eating zombies.
Yeah, and that's
specifically
we'll talk about
go for the
in
brain.
a bit. Yeah, that's the first film that introduces that concept.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 92%, so it's fresh, and then Rate the Flicks gave it 9 out of 10.
Oh,
The real review that matters.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, this is without a doubt one of the. If you love zombie movies and you haven't seen this, what are you even doing?
yeah.
This is one of the zombie movies to watch that isn't George A. Romero. Like,
Right.
This doesn't. And one of my favorite things about this movie is it gives you an explanation to why they're zombies. Because sometimes there's just zombies for the sake of it, and this is like, oh, it's like this experimental gas, which you don't really need that. It's a zombie movie, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah,
I love it because the film itself has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's like it can survive off of just one film, and that's it. I love it.
this was a good movie. I was telling Manny off air that Akira was a great movie, but it was a movie that really demanded like 300% of your attention.
That's fair.
And then I had to watch it again, and it was like another 300% of my attention. This movie was like such an easy watch. It's very simple, great special effects, great acting. I honestly, I'm not a big zombie movie fan, but from the movies I've seen, zombies just eat brains. Like that's just the thing. And learning that this movie was what started that trope was a big thing. Also, zombies running. This is the first movie to depict that, and talking.
Oh yeah, that's true. They talk in this movie.
They're very intelligent.
This movie. A little cheeky at parts. Literally and figuratively, but really good movie. I loved it. As soon as there's certain actions that really put the plot in place. And as soon as things happened, I was like,
dude,
they
things
just
get
got
out
one
of
problem
hand
and then
so
made
fast.
it so much worse. And
Yeah.
I love this. I'm really glad that Manny recommended that. This movie's available to stream for free on the Tubi app. I know Manny was a big horror or is a big horror fan, and he was very impressed by the
I was. I don't like horror
Not
anymore.
anymore, not after Termaine. But
Chris,
Man,
you watched this last minute, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
you have nightmares.
how did you like it?
Okay, I have a story, but I'll start out. So I mean, I literally watched it, right? And not to like, I'm a total procrastinator, but I literally just watched it. So I liked it. I liked it, and I am not a horror movie person at all. Like, my wife loves horror movies. She loves just like all that stuff, and ever since we first started dating, it's like she always tried to get me to watch horror movies. I never wanted to watch them. So I liked the movie. I can't believe I liked it. Not saying like just because I'm not into this stuff.
Right.
Um,
I'm right there with you.
So this movie, I realized that I had seen this movie before, or at least parts of it. And it was at a point in my life when I was 100% absolutely scarred by seeing this movie. I was probably like 6 or 7. The movie was already on TV. All right. And my parents went out. I had a babysitter. My babysitter had me sleep in my parents' room for whatever reason. And when she put me down to bed, I decided to turn on the TV and I started flipping through channels. And this movie, which for all these years, I've never known what movie this scene was from.
That's amazing.
And the scene where the torso, the corpse torso, it gets pulled.
Yes.
She gets pulled through the window and is talking and everything. That scene legit
horrifying.
Scarred me
Took you
for
back.
years. Nightmares, could not sleep in my own bed. Could not, like, it just totally screwed me up. And I realized I'm not like, I realized that this movie is the reason why I hate horror movies.
I'm gonna get some hate in my DMs later tonight. Screw you, man.
No.
Can't sleep.
But the thing is, like, I told my wife this, and she's like, but did you like the movie? And I'm like, I liked the movie. And she's like, it's like an epiphany.
Without trembling. I loved it.
No, like it's like this, like the stigma, this thing I've had against horror movies is like lifted because I finally put it together.
It's better than therapy.
Right. And I'm like, this is crazy. I never knew what movie that was from. And that scene, like, is
the pain. That's creepy, yeah.
Isn't it weird, like, how stuff like that
sticks with you as a permeates in your mind?
Yeah.
It was just lingering in the back, and then you saw it, and it was like, remember?
Yes.
And for me, the scene that, like, describes, like, what you're talking about, I still can't watch the scene. In Signs, when that alien comes through.
God.
The birthday party, we saw that movie in Arizona.
It's behind.
Yeah, dude, I might laugh. We saw that movie in Arizona in a drive-through theater, and that was like the big thing in Arizona. But you're in the desert, and like behind the drive-through is like just like
black,
desert, like
empty,
black. And dude, you would just see things like falling from the sky while you're watching this. It was awful.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is the half dog.
Yeah, dude, he kicks the shit out of that thing.
I was like, what the hell? Oh my god!
It looks so ridiculous, but it's awesome. I mean, one of my favorite characters is the girl with the red hair. I don't know why. I mean,
yes.
Oh
yeah. That's even the first body I've ever seen.
Yeah, if you were a kid and you saw like the full movie.
My
That's like,
pants feel funny.
yeah, I know. I got a tingly feeling. I mean, it's just
Oh,
so that's a bonus, that's a bonus in the movie. But I gotta say, like you guys said, beginning, middle, and end, plot makes like, I mean, it works. It works. And I love the visuals of like when they're cremating that body. It's like, oh, this is perfect. This is the idea. And then the smoke and then the rain.
Causes, dude.
And then
and
it's
then you get that eerie theme song. It's
music.
like boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. It's like
Seeping into the ground. And it's just like,
Dude, everything
And the
gets
rain
so out of
comes.
hand so fast in that movie.
I love it how when the police and the paramedics come, it's just like they all like are hiding and they all jump on them. And then there's
Yeah.
like nothing left of
Sam.
them, but there's still that other paramedic that is like still laying there and stuff. I love, I mean, there's a
And
lot of,
then that
yeah.
that
And
zombie jumps in the truck and he's like, "Send more paramedics."
I was like,
What?
oh my God, this is awesome.
There's a lot of, I think it's what makes it so easy to watch is there's also a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
But it's not like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's also not a parody of itself.
It's a
Mhm.
very
Right.
self-aware movie.
It's almost like if you watch the first Evil Dead, it's supposed to be a very like serious movie, but it ended up being kind of campy and a cult classic. And then the rest of those movies are like comedies.
Mhm.
And it's like this was right on that cusp of like it is funny, but it's also not.
It's also creepy.
Yeah, like the gore is handled really well. The fact that the zombies talk.
Yeah.
The star one is so
really, really quick. When I first saw this film, I think I was like 5 or 6. Also, so I'd go to my grandparents' house, and they're responsible for showing me like all the things that I love today. Like they were the first ones to introduce me to RoboCop. I was like 5. Also, I think it was Batman '89, Star Wars, and Return of the Living Dead was one of them. Sorry, my light turned off here. So there I am, a little 5-year-old sitting in the living room with my grandpa, and he plays this movie. And I remember when I first saw the cadaver shaking in the bag, I had to turn on the light, and I mean, I fell in love with it. And that was the first. I think that was the first pair of boobs that I ever saw in the little. Now I'm not gonna go into it, but that was the first female body. Yeah. I've been addicted ever since.
You can't say boobs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kind of showed what this is. We're gonna get taken off YouTube.
Brian's watching right now. You can't say the word
I'm
boob.
sorry.
It's so funny that like this propelled you in one direction and it propelled me in a totally opposite direction. Where like
Yeah.
I absolutely wanted nothing to do with any horror movies. I mean, even in high school, like when the Sixth Sense came out and stuff, and what's the Blair Witch Project? Oh my God. Like, I mean, nightmares in high school, like just like suppressed like issues and stuff. And I got over that stuff, but it's so funny. And like, when you announced that this was the movie, I'm like, oh man, come on, but I'm glad you did it because it's like kind of pushed me to watch something, and then of all movies, it's the movie that like scarred me.
Yeah.
It was destiny.
It was.
Dude, there's a bit of dialogue in the film that one of the characters, his name is Suicide, the guy with like the bald head and like a chain and stuff. There's a part when they're in the graveyard and he says, "Scram, scram, wimp." It's like, who says that? And now I want to start saying that. So
Oh, there's a lot of that stuff. And man, I want his car. I'm pretty sure it's a Cadillac. Oh man, that's
it's all graffitied up.
sweet. I need that thing. All rat rotted out, man. I wonder if anybody's ever redone a car like that.
Dude, that's hilarious. And one more thing, Tarman. I challenged the guys earlier to name one more famous zombie besides Rob Zombie. Like, there's no other famous zombie except for Tarman that I know of.
I was gonna say the guys from like Tyrant, Mr. What's his name from Resident Evil?
Oh, okay.
But I mean those are video games. I don't know if that counts.
More brains.
This is the only instances that I know that zombies talk in
Yeah.
this movie.
I think so. I think you're right because
Other than
think of
like
anything
old school Romero, don't they just say brains like "Brrr."
It's so funny.
That's
All
it.
chanting like brains.
Dude, Tarman is creepy, dude.
Oh man,
On
dude, I love
screen, he's
Tarman.
fucking creepy.
how did they pull that
I have
off?
a
I don't know,
I
dude.
have a story about this figure also.
Yeah, tell your story.
All right, so I've been working a lot, right? A lot of overtime, and this figure goes for like 150 to 200 bucks. So someone posted it on Macari for $90 plus like 10 shipping. So I offered the dude 70 and he bumped it to 80 and I was like, I've been working a lot, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it and he shipped it like the next day. Like it was pretty fast. So I was pretty excited. So it said that it was gonna be delivered on Saturday, which was last Saturday. Well, there I am, just home. I'm home because I can't go anywhere. So I'm waiting for the mail, and it says delivered. So I like run to the damn mailbox. I know that the box because it came new in box, so it was pretty big. So it wasn't gonna fit in our typical mailbox. So like, I'm like, okay, maybe they left a key or something that opens up a bigger one. So I opened the thing, no key. I didn't get any email for our locker. So I'm like, okay. So I called the post office and they're like, yeah, your carrier probably has it on the truck. So I'm like, okay. So this was Saturday, so I had to wait till Monday. So Monday comes along and still nothing. So I run out and I see the mailman there and he's like, well, I don't mean to point fingers, but you do know that it's illegal to say that you didn't receive your package and you do have it,
Oh
right? And
my
I'm like,
God.
swear to God, dude, Marissa was with me and I was like, I didn't receive my package. Like they have cameras. I told him, I was like, you could check the cameras. He's like, no, I'm just letting you know that it's illegal to do that. And I'm like, I'm like, okay. So I called the 800 number and I, submitted a claim. Well, the next, I think it was Tuesday, I went back down there and he was like, still nothing, like just being kind of sarcastic. And I was like, I don't have it. Like, I don't know what to do. So I contacted Macari and I told them, and everyone kind of makes you seem like you're the bad guy. Like
Right.
you do have it. Like, nah, I wouldn't believe you. But Macari didn't refund me my money where I can actually transfer it to my bank. They gave me credit. So, I have like $100 in credit. So I'm like, okay. So I gave it, a couple days, and I think it was Wednesday. I get a phone call from our apartment complex, and she's like, "Yeah, someone from apartment 464 or something called. They said they have a package that's to you, and it's your number." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I, quickly ran and I got it, and the dude who sold it left me a little note that said, enjoy this. It's been a prized possession for whatever. And I quickly, I reached out to Macari and I was like, hey, take the credit, please. I know Dean and I were having a discussion about that credit.
Yeah, I was like, keep the credit.
Yeah, I was like, I'll feel bad. Like, I'll feel guilty. Like, so I reached out to Macari and I was like, please remove the funds. I have my figure. And I reached out to the seller. I was like, hey, man, I found the figure. Thank you so much. Well, Macari ended up just saying, you can have the figure and you can have the credit. So now I have $100 in credit that I don't know what I want to buy.
Win-win.
That's my little. I thought I lost it in the mail, dude.
That's awesome. What are the details on the figure? What manufacturer? Like, what is it? Where did it come from?
To be honest, I don't remember. I just opened it and threw the packaging away. But I
This
mean,
guy's prized possession, and you're like,
dude, yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna keep it in the box. His arms move, and it's kind of a statue if you think about it. Oh shit!
It's like an old school McFarlane figure.
Does it have any markings on? Is that the picture that we've got on the screen? Is that yours?
Yeah, that's his figure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has a base and all that stuff.
Yeah, it has a base and it has a little brain. Hold on, I think the base might have something. No, I'll get you the details, but I don't know. But yeah, it goes for around 150. It's a pretty sweet little. Yeah.
Yeah, there's seems to. I mean, it's the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, man, I can see why people really like this movie.
Yeah, it was like low budget. I think it took like $4 million, and I think it raked in like 15 million at the end of the day.
Dang.
Yeah, so it's obviously it's a cult classic. It took some time for it to get some legs, but
It's by a company called
it's one of
Monstars.
my favorite.
Monstars.
Oh, okay. It was released in 2011, I think.
And
The
then it
movie?
says
Looks
Amok
horrible.
Time
No.
Monstars. So
No, the
Amok
figure.
Time.
But
Yeah, a
I'm
lot of
happy.
people think this is a sequel to other movies, but it's not. It's just its own movie.
It mentions
It takes a
it
nod.
mentions a night in Living Dead saying, hey, these events happen, but they had to switch them around, and we have
Right.
one of the barrels that
Yeah.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Did they have in the original movie? Did they have anything with barrels, like what the creatures were in?
Not that I recall.
I don't remember.
Dude, I called the number that was on the I was bored.
Did you really?
I called it, but it was like, if you're over 55, press this
Dude,
number.
don't
And
be
I was
calling
like,
that number.
oh,
We're
dude.
gonna
If you're dead, press this number.
We'll send
Dude.
gas your way right now.
But apparently
dude,
back when this movie first came out, that number, someone bought the rights to that number, and it was a phone sex hotline for like 20 years.
Wow.
Like,
No
for
wonder
real.
you called it.
I was like,
You
over
already knew that
55.
information.
Right, he's watching the video, the clip of that girl.
He's
in
like,
the,
oh,
in the,
I'm
in the
so
green-
bored. Let me call this number. I don't know what it is.
No, I looked it up after the fact because I don't want to
No,
get too
you
deep.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
just the idea, like the chick just, hey, I'm just gonna, get naked and dance
This
around.
is one of the best scenes I've ever seen.
Tombstones.
Dude, even when
Becoming
she
a
comes
dad.
back with that wide mouth, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Somebody
Anyways,
for everybody.
let's move on. In honor of having Chris Leddy, our official Collecting Scavengers joint podcast, we did a scavenger hunt, and we had some people assemble some items. Dean and I worked up a quick list. I believe it was a shipper box, a Marvel figure, a Star Wars figure, a DC figure, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, a head sculpt, an accessory, a steel book, and a package of wrist pegs. So Roy submitted this.
Yes.
I had to censor Jason Nelson because he had Harley Quinn with a Fison and then
poor
a
Harley.
sexual comment. So I had to censor his. This is Dan Lee, of course, with the Transformers Steelbook,
Nice.
and then Quinn. So let me see if I got this to work. How do we go here?
Yeah, the one with the Iron Man. Who was that?
That was Roy from.
Thank you.
I almost
from,
ate his
Sixth
shipper
Scale.
box, and I was like, this dude forgot the biggest thing on here, and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. He like blends in with his background.
Yeah. So let's do a wheel decide. We'll do last man
Reverse.
standing. Yeah, reverse draw.
Oh, Roy's out.
Sweet Angel. Oh no, Dan Lee's out.
No, damn.
All right, so Quinn or Jason, who gets the icon?
Quinn.
Quinn gets the icon. So Quinn, you have until next Tuesday to claim your icon. If you don't hit me up with it, I will just do a redraw.
Nobody tagged.
Yeah, nobody tagged Quinn. I'll make sure Quinn's really a big fan of the show as he claims. So let's Dean, let's talk about this icon here. So
Yeah.
tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It's an icon.
All right, so
It's iconic.
Yeah, so we Sideshow decided to be cheeky and use one of our slogans and colors. So we're like, all right, well, we're gonna take your logo. So we did an A instead of an S in a rectangle, and yeah, it looks super crispy. And we tried to get some prototypes, and they weren't working out properly. So I threw the file on my 3D printer and knocked one out, and it came out beautiful.
yeah, this is a job well done, my friend. So in addition to Quinn's, we'll probably put up a small post on Ox, maybe just make like 5 or 6 of these to fundraise for some future Ox stuff. But yeah, these are really great. They're I mean, honestly, like the quality is excellent. There's a few things I need to do. So this is a prototype V1. I need to add a foam backing on the back to make it, if it falls, it won't scratch up your display. And I think we just need to finalize the color scheme. I just went with a matte black for the prototype, but I actually really like it because all my cabinets are white. So I think we might do a black, a white, and a yellow. Dean said he might customize his with some, what was it, silver leaf?
Silver leaf, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy. You just get the glue and then lay the leaf down and rub it in with a brush.
I need to get one of these.
Silver leaf is pretty inexpensive, like $7 for a pack of 50 sheets.
Really? Does it make like a real fine finish, or does it all wrinkly?
Just depends on how well you can do it.
Yeah.
But I was probably just gonna go over it with a epoxy resin and seal it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what my sister did with her Skyrim mask. She
Dude,
gold leafed it and then resined over it, and it looks beautiful. So I'm gonna try my hand at silver leafing one.
Yeah, and these are great. I think they're like 6 inches tall, like 4 inches wide, 1 inch deep.
Yeah, we ordered some new
Element.
Yeah.
1 inch deep, eh?
So I'll get you one, Manny.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
good for you guys. So if you want one, hit me up on Collecting Weekly, and we'll work out how much they'll cost and when they will be available.
$500, friends and family.
Yeah, that's these are obviously exclusive products here. So we're pretty much at the end of the show. Chris, I'd love to talk with you just for a little bit. I know we're running a little long here, but you guys are on the tear lately, doing really well. It seems like the quarantine coronavirus hasn't slowed you down too much. Tell us a little bit about your content, and I'd love to maybe just pick your brain on a few things.
Yeah, so Sixth Scale Scavengers, that's the podcast that Brian Fontaine and I started, like I was saying earlier. And yeah, I mean, basically we started out just talking about Marvel and Star Wars hot toys. We've recently started talking more about DC, just because we've started adding some figures to our collections. And our other co-host is TC, and he joined us last summer, and we've just been going strong and doing, like you guys, doing the live streams on YouTube. We usually try to record Wednesday nights, and then we have all our podcasts. Everything's on audio form, as well as on YouTube. And the big thing right now is our website, sixthscalescavengers.com. Brian has been working diligently the last few weeks to update our Hot Toys checklists. And we've got Marvel, Star Wars, and DC going all the way back. Every figure is
as well.
What's that?
Don't you guys have Asmus on there as well?
We do have Asmus. We haven't been focusing in on that too much. We haven't, for a little while, we were kind of thinking about getting into those lines, and TC and Brian have kind of backed off on that. Steve is doing that with his, he's still collecting that on his group therapy show. But yeah, so Brian's been going back and revamping these lists that give detailed information for all the figures, links to all different websites that you can potentially find these figures on, eBay, direct links right to eBay for these figures, and gives you a breakdown of like when this figure is available, what was retail, a little synopsis of the figure. And so it's a great tool for any Sixth Scale Hot Toys collectors to check out. So they got a list right there. They can go down and see what was available and kind of get an idea of what market value is on these different sites. But yeah, I mean, we basically just talk like you guys, we're just talking Hot Toys collecting, what's going on in the Sixth Scale community, talk about our collection updates. We usually have a topic every episode, whether it be collecting related or display related. And then each episode we have a feature figure. We've been doing some retro reviews lately, just because we haven't been getting brand new figures in hand with everything that's going on. But I don't know. We just talk about Sixth Scale stuff. I think next episode is episode 45.
Yeah, almost at 50. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so it's just fun. We have a good time with it, and we've got a Facebook group. We've got a public Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, just trying to.
I remember when Dean and I had first started initially,
Dating.
like long ago. What'd you say?
Dating.
Oh no, that's
Dean's my
gone.
boo. Don't steal him.
We had done one iteration, and at that time, no one had really done a podcast for Hot Toys that I had known of. I think now I know that someone had one at one point, and 5-6 episodes in, we cut it. We called it quits. And we tried again, 10, 15 episodes, we called it quits because it just never really seemed to gain any traction. Like I said, no one was really doing it. I know there's like the Hot Toys cast that was out there for a while, but it just kind of wasn't really a thing that I thought people were that interested in. We gave it a third go, and it was a little bit before we started taking it like that seriously. Because we would record, but not like on a strict Tuesday schedule. It'd be like this week, maybe 2 weeks from now. And I remember someone I think you guys were posting on Tashi or OSR, maybe. I think it's probably Tashi. And I listened to a few episodes, and I was like, hey, this is really cool. Like, this is kind of like what we're doing. And I think on one episode, Brian had given me a shout out, not knowing that I had a show as well, for the memes that I was making. And I was like, hey, that's really cool. And so I hit him up, and we became friends. And it's been really nice to see how much both of our shows have grown since, the early days. I think we were only at episode like 7 at that point. I think you guys may have been at like 5 or 6. Like, we were both just really getting our feet wet. And obviously you guys have come a long way. I think TC was a great addition to your podcast. And I'm probably a little biased because he always gives us the shout outs at the end, but
he insists. We tell him no, don't do that.
Oh no.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I've said this before on shows that we've had, but I've always felt like a really good camaraderie with you guys' show. Almost as like friendly competition, like you guys will do something that's like, hey, we need to push to be better as well to keep up, and I don't know if it's vice versa, but I do feel like you guys keep us going in a way, and it's just really good that the community has several different shows to listen to. I know you guys obviously Rogue 16 moved to channel, but those people make great content. I know you guys partner with PJ a lot, the Paradox Nerd. He makes some content with the Sithcast. I know there's some other people that are just trying to start out podcasts. There's other people that have come and gone in the time that we've been content, and I'm that you guys are still here because it seems like, and I don't say this to be negative at all, but it seems like there's people that will make a show and then a few weeks into it, 5-10 episodes, it's just not for them. Glad to see that you guys
or realize the work that goes into it.
Oh yeah, that's one of the big things that people may not realize. And the thing is, like Brian and I, we've talked about it. We developed our plan and goals and everything for almost 6 months before we launched, and we really wanted to get things in order. And we didn't know it was going to get. We're not that big, but like at least to the point that we're even at. Like if we get 10 listeners, like we're happy because we just want to talk about this stuff. But but it is other shows and other people and the community that's kind of forced us to grow too, wanting more content. And the Facebook group we kept things pretty tight, got a good group of people and started growing, and people we started getting admins and they wanted to produce content, and so we're all collaborating and trying to get things rolling. And I mean, Steve did an awesome job with the YouTube channel, Matt, Roy, PJ, like everything with Rogue One Sixth. But they wanted, like they wanted to do their own thing. And it's like, we're like, everything's great it's great that they can create their own channel and produce even more content. And we're all about helping each other out, and we're always communicating with you guys to try to better everything, because we want people to be able to have all these different shows, to be able to, especially these days, like a lot of people are not doing much. So the more content we can create for people is better. And I love listening to you guys. I love listening to, all these other shows. I'm on the road all the time for work. I'm in healthcare, so I'm still out there doing stuff. And it's like, I love podcasts. I never thought I would ever get into podcasting. All it took was hearing Brian make an appearance on the Old Toy Run podcast, saying that he was in Manchester, New Hampshire, giving a toy report. And I was like, and he's like, here, I got a website. And I just emailed his website, and I was like, hey, what the heck? You're in New Hampshire. Like, somebody else is like as much of a collector as me that is like part of like listening to a podcast. And then like he was just started with another podcast network. And then I joined that podcast network, and we decided to start our own thing, and that progressed. And it's all like, I love what you guys are doing with all the different shows. It's great for everybody.
You mentioned the good thing is like the community pushing you to do more, because we had a lot of people that joined auxiliary from some of our local groups, and they were saying like, well, we really just do Marvel Legends and Black Series and Mezco, and we like the fact that you guys are doing a show, but we don't really care about what you're talking about. Damien and Dylan came in and really, put on a good show. I know they're having some tech issues, so they'll be back whenever. And then, we have the other half of the world that listens to us that, go through different things, being a collector in the United Kingdom or, Germany, different parts of Europe. And they have a really unique perspective, and they kind of just expanded. And Manny's very passionate about horror. And then we started Creeps Are Us, and it just seems like, Rainer wants to make his own little segment. I don't know if it can be a full show on its own or what, but everyone comes like in the team is like, hey, I want to do this.
Well, not only that, but let's just say Sixth Scale Scavengers had an entire show on the Hot Toys Captain Marvel, and we had a show on the Hot Toys Captain Marvel. They would be two completely different shows. Like,
yes,
everyone has their own take, their own opinion. I talk a lot of shit. Maybe they don't. Like, people's personalities really come out on the show. And so it really doesn't matter if we're all talking about the same thing. Like, everyone has their own thing to bring to the table, which is really nice.
I mean, that's what I love about podcasts in general, is hearing all the different perspectives. Because what's the fun in hearing what you want to hear all the time? Like, I like hearing what people don't like, to get the other side of things. I mean, I listen to all kinds of different podcasts, and Star Wars, Marvel, collecting, and there's a lot of things that, people like that I don't like, and stuff, and vice versa. And I just, I think it's great to be able to listen to something, and hear other people's perspectives, because it gives you perspective. And just for example, it's like, we may not all be a big fan of The Last Jedi, but I find it interesting hearing what people like about the Last Jedi, because it gives me perspective of, what is a positive point of the movie and stuff. I know.
Yeah,
I wanted to say that because I knew that you would say that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. Yeah, I almost enjoy listening to shit I disagree with more, because I can take that through the rest of my day.
Yes.
Like, can you? I don't even know why they said this, or I could give you 10 reasons why that's wrong. Like,
yeah.
So,
yeah,
Chris,
I know exactly what you're saying.
what's next for you guys now that things may or may not be ramping up here in the next few months with companies getting back to business?
Man,
do you guys have any plans for anything big?
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like Brian and I, our goal.
Scoop, Chris.
Yeah, it's like our main goal is to be as consistent with our releases as possible, so that people know that they can rely on us to produce content every 2 weeks. And you guys know it is very hard to come up with content on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I'm shocked we've been able to do it weekly. Like, I mean, it's hard,
especially right now.
No, and I got to give you guys props but the thing is, you guys talk about a lot more than we do. I mean, your range is way more than us. That's why, like, I'm talking about 3 3/4 inch and Marvel Legends on here, because I don't really talk about it, on our show, because I collect vintage Star Wars, like all kinds of stuff. So,
here we show pictures. We talk about BH.
Yeah. And so to be a very specific podcast, to only focus really on Hot Toys, Sixth Scale, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. Like, that's why we have the topics, trends that we notice going on in the community, stuff where we think that we can help collectors, find answers. And, I mean, it's kind of boring, like, for us to say that there's no big things. I mean, we got episode 50 coming up shortly. Hopefully we're going to have some giveaways, for that episode. We don't do a ton of giveaways, but, yeah, I mean, it's just trying to be there for the few listeners and followers that we have. And, just continue to, try to be a part of the community. And, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what our thing is just try to be a part of the community and have, an outlet for collectors in the Sixth Scale area.
Yeah. Go check them out. They're a good show. I know you have a giveaway for today's show. Let's just have whoever's watching in the chat just chime in if you claim this prize. Chris, I think it was a sticker pack and then a Sixth Scale Scavengers t-shirt.
Yes.
So hopefully someone will claim that. That's such a great idea. Honestly, I was like a week away from attempting it, and then you did it, and I was like, well, that's a great fucking idea. So I got to give you major props on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things, man. So let me know, whoever wins. You can either message Zach, and I'll definitely get you guys set up.
Send him my address. I'm just kidding.
It looks like Shot here claimed the stickers and Mario Cortez claimed the shirt. So
awesome,
guys,
awesome. Yeah,
thanks for that. And whenever you do the 50th episode, let us know, and we'll sponsor a giveaway.
Awesome. Sorry,
no, it's okay.
Yeah, so just before we go on, my social media, there you go, you got them, is my social media handle is Vintage Viewport on Twitter and Instagram. So I've got my focus characters, Ahsoka Tano on one.
This is such a beautiful sticker.
Oh yeah,
belongs in a museum.
Yeah, and then Rebel Commando, Endor Rebel Commando's my other focus character. I know,
is that the one you take pictures of everywhere?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's my traveling commando, and he goes everywhere with me. But
how you feel, Chris? If I had a sticker, it would be of this guy right here. He goes everywhere. I take him.
Yes, Bumblebee, classic.
He is amazing.
I don't have a figure I take with me everywhere. Maybe I should.
Dude, you should. Well, let's talk about what is up and coming for Collecting Weekly. Dean, we just finished a 5-hour live stream.
Oh my god.
It was friggin' wild.
Dude, it was so funny.
Is that the one where he had his ass ate?
Yeah. Dude, Dean was in rare form. He was just killing it. We have a short little like 3-minute highlight video. We'll put it up tonight from that episode. It was just a few.
I'll check out that. I don't know about the 5-hour one.
It was well, if you do a lot of driving, maybe get stuck in traffic. Or something.
I love it.
Yeah, we were traveling somewhere. We had
in traffic.
Somebody backed out of a deal that we had made, and so instead of getting horses, we got asses.
Oh no, they didn't back out. It was because one of our characters was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go assault this fort," and then he got almost killed, and then they reneged the deal. Anyways,
yeah,
Dean was, I guess I don't know what you call
I was driving the carriage.
Yeah,
and we got attacked by Yetis, and one of the Yetis started eating one of our asses. And so it was my turn. It's like, what do you want to do? It's like, well, I'm not gonna let this guy eat my ass. Like, but like I said it without thinking about it.
And then everyone's face in the chat was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh my god! And then after that, it turned into like a whole gag. But,
oh my god!
It was so.
Got into Dungeons and Dragons. It's a good game to play on quarantine. We're having a ton of fun. So check out our live stream, Live and Let Dice. It's on our YouTube channel.
It works so well live or over the internet. I was afraid it wouldn't, and it really does.
It really does. And here's a look at our network here. So obviously you're listening to the Collecting Weekly live show. We have Only Fools in Collecting. I believe they're recording this Thursday. Small Talk, they are taking a little bit of a break with some tech issues. I think Dylan's computer pooped out or something. Wookiee of the Year, they're just recorded episode 2. That should be hitting our feed soon. Creeps the Rest. Manny's getting some topics going for his next show.
I only have these.
Live and Let Dice. We are definitely planning another, I think a short planning stream, I think this weekend, and then a full one the following, because our DM had this really nice little path and we totally 180'd everything. So we got a plan to get this back on track. And then Joy of Hobbying is my little bit of hobbying show that I do intermittently. Hopefully I'll be recording an episode soon. Big shout outs to Chris, obviously, Sixth Scale Scavengers. You guys hold a great show. Brian, Chris, obviously with you, and TC. Wonderful.
What an angel for coming on here.
What an angel. Such a positive guy. Such a
handsome one, too.
Best looking podcaster in the net, I gotta say.
Brian, right back at you, buddy.
Brian had that quarantine glow going, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, you guys obviously great show. Matt and Steve, Rogue 16, their channel, PJ the Paradox Nerd, all good people that contribute to all of our entertainment.
Matt too. How dare you guys be so handsome and come on to our show looking like
coming on to our models. Well, move on to the next topic. My God.
I'll take it.
Sean, I guess in the chat says, have you seen the Star Wars paint for the Legion figures, Book of the Dead? I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but I have painted Legion figures in the past, which Brian needs to send me his short trooper so I can paint that thing. Book of the Dead, Dean, what's up on that project? What's that?
Yeah, I'm afraid to order anything and it gets held up forever. So
is Book of the Dead like a secret project name or something?
I don't know what Book of the Dead is, but I think that's for the Legion.
Oh, I don't know.
But my project, I'm afraid to order anything and then not get it, and I'm just waiting until everything kind of blows over to start ordering bodies and outfits and shoes.
Oh my God, that doesn't sound good.
Manny, do you have any
skill? What's up?
Do you have any shout outs you want to give, Manny?
Shout out to Tarman and that one chick with the red hair with her jugs hanging out.
Hey.
Book of the Dead to Manny is what Sean says. Give a quick shout out to my stepdad, Steve. He loves watching the show.
Oh yeah, shout out to Steve. We cut the show off right when your mom asked us to shout out Steve. I felt awful.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the pair.
Shout out to all the pair.
All the pair, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't really know what we're talking about, but like when we talk about figures, but he just likes listening to his banter. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Like he literally like today he asked like 4 times, like, are they gonna start streaming? Like when are they gonna get on? So I was like, wow, what a guy.
Yeah, my dad watches as well. It's pretty neat. Chris, do you have any shout outs you wanted to give before we sign off?
No, just to you guys. I mean, I got my Collecting Weekly.
I promise you
shirt.
I will buy a shirt from you guys soon. I bought the Ox shirts, the new icon shirts, and it's been like 3 weeks. And I got an email today that they're like, "Oh, we're really behind on orders, so we don't know if we're gonna ship them." I'm like, y'all motherfuckers send me a new email every day to buy a shirt. Y'all, no wonder y'all can't catch up. Y'all sending emails about left and right.
Yeah, I went crazy with the TeePublic shirts, and I cannot order any more shirts. Like, oh man,
it's probably because of you. They're behind. They're like, we sent Chris all these fucking shirts.
I ordered this. I got this Harley Quinn shirt, and I walk down, and my wife just rolls her eyes and is like, "What the hell are you wearing?" But anyway, no, just thanks guys for all the great content you put out. I just listened to your latest episode today while I was working, and I just love it. And I'm glad we got a good couple communities here and a lot of crossover between the two of us. And yeah, it's just a great time. And for anybody that doesn't know about us, definitely check out sixthscalescavengers.com. We're on all podcatchers, YouTube channel. Try to do next Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it is, probably Wednesday we'll be recording. And yeah, just check out our stuff.
That'll be, I think it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Yep. Yeah, so check. They run a great show. They're it's a great show. Like that. I mean, that's really all I can say. It's fantastic. They know stuff, and they get damn good on the live show. I'll tell you that much.
Sean says we should add stickers to our mics.
Well, this mic is kind of expensive. So.
This mic isn't mine, so
got to represent.
Yeah, that's smart. See, I have stickers on my Yeti, but I just got this baby. I'm not willing to sticker it up just yet.
Mm-hmm. You got to be airbrushing that thing. Custom paint job.
Well, I do have an airbrush. It would look nice in yellow, though.
Yeah.
And Sideshow will steal it. They'll do a yellow mic for their episode, and then I'll just get all mad.
I think I have one more collecting weekly sticker I could put on here.
Hey, dude, I'm running out. I sent like 120 stickers. Like,
oh yeah, I got mine.
And I just had another order come in, so
nice.
Yeah,
got to keep the people happy, man.
Business at this point. But anyways, guys, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Tar Manny.
I'm Chris.
Catch you guys on the next episode.
Bye. Tar Manny, I like that.